everybody. My name is Tatum. I am the founder of Guardian Voice of the Missing. Have a co-host here with me, Jane from TLPI Investigations. If you are out there, please let us know that you're out there. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to add them, and we will try to answer them as best we can. Today we have some updates on a couple cases, also sharing some other active cases out there as well, and giving out some resources and information to loved ones to help with these cases. Hi, Jane. How are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Yeah, definitely, because we do have at least one of your cases that we do have some updates on, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit.
Okay.
All right, someone is saying hello. I don't know who it is. Facebook is really weird depending on where you're looking or watching the video. So, hello to whoever that is. And glad that you could be on today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our first case. It is out of Rapid City, South Dakota. This is Carlin Standing Out. She went missing on April 26th of 2023. She's 17 years old. She's 5'9", 130 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and white shoes. If you have any information regarding Carolyn's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Pennington County, South Dakota Sheriff's Office at 605-394-4131. Oh, hi, Jeanette. How are you? I'm really glad that you got to make it to another one of my podcasts.
Hi, Jeanette.
Yeah, she is amazing. She is my sis. I love her to death. She always shares flyers and, does a really, really great job of supporting missing loved ones and supporting me on doing this. So I'm really glad Jeanette is here today. This next case is a case that I have shared before. This is Andrea Jerry White. She does go by Chick. She is missing out of Humboldt, California on July 31st of 1991. She was 22 years old. She is now 54. She's 5 foot, 115 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She does have a 5-inch scar on the left side of her temple. Like I said, she does go by the name Chick. She was last seen wearing a black leather jacket, white shirt, Levi jeans, and possible sneakers. She was carrying a black and white duffel bag with a purple skirt, black sweater, black spandex tights with lace on the ankle, and black satin pumps. It is not known if she had her ID with her at the time, and she did not have a purse. Chick was last seen in Blue Lake, California at 1:30 p.m. on July 31st, 1991. She had been in a court hearing in Eureka, California, and she was hitchhiking back to Hoopa, California, where she was living. She was last seen on Highway 299, just east of the Blue Lake exit. It is not confirmed that she may have gotten a ride in a green and white 4-door Chevy Impala that had snow/mud tires on it. It is unlike her to just go and vanish and not have any contact with her family. She does have children that she was very active and that she would never have left them behind. Foul play is suspected in her case. If you have any information regarding Andrea's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Humboldt County, California Sheriff's Department at 707-445-7439 or 707-445-7251. There is a $10,000 reward for information leading to her whereabouts. Jeanette said that she is good and she wouldn't miss it. Thank you, Jeanette.
Thank you.
All right. This next one is a new case that I am sharing. Dana Jane Bruce is missing out of Sedalia, Missouri. Kansas Missing and Unsolved has shared her case for a long time on the podcast and stuff. And I was asked if I would go ahead and share her case as well. She went missing on October 4th, 2008. She was 23 years old. She is now 37, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, and she had green hazel eyes. She does have both of her ears pierced, once in each. She is blind in her left eye. Her hair was brown and it had red highlights in it at the time of her disappearance, and her hair is usually shoulder length, wavy with bangs. She does have a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. She does have a tattoo, as you can see in that picture, of a teddy bear with wings and the banner with the name Dylan on it. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel on the front in silver lettering, blue jeans, leaving her children's babysitting home where she had left them earlier so she could go out, and had returned around midnight to give her babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children the rest of the night. Dana had been seen at the Malone's bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier in the night of her disappearance, and left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police had identified the man and said she had been with the night that she disappeared. He had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia, and the police had questioned the man after he had been arrested on an unrelated charge of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. He has never been named publicly, but the police are calling him a person of interest. He had said that Dana and him had parted ways after they had left the bar and never saw her again. She had left all of her belongings behind, doesn't have a bank account, credit cards, phone, or a vehicle. It is unknown if she had her ID on her at the time. She was known as a devoted mother who would never leave or abandon her children. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-826-8100 or 660-827-7823, or you can call the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. This case has had many dynamics on this case. Somebody does know something. It's definitely somebody needs to come forward on her case. She did not just disappear. It's really suspicious with the gentleman driving the red truck. I mean, something needs to be brought to light in her case. And Ellen, you are most welcome. Her family has been very devoted in keeping her story out there and in the face of the public and everything. So please share her flyer. I know her children miss her. Her family misses her. We need to it's been too long on her case for no answers or anything on her case. So somebody out there knows someone. Jeanette says, I totally agree. Someone does need to come forward and say something because someone out there knows something or sees something. I agree. She was at the bar. People saw her at the bar. Somebody knows something.
I have a question. Did they do anything with this gentleman's car? Did they do forensics on it?
That I'm not for sure of. I don't know if her family member knows that it's on, if that was ever looked into or not. But it should have been.
Right. I guess, I saw 2008. I guess that's something to look into if it hasn't been done. No.
And they're saying no.
Who's Facebook user? Yeah.
That's family.
Oh, okay. Family. Yeah. You probably should find out something, and if that car is still around, get a forensics team, contact the FBI, get a case made, and get that car. There still could be evidence. They could find evidence in there, even if it's been washed up or something.
Right. And
Yeah.
I know they're trying to do anything and everything to.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they aren't. That's a trend though now in cases.
Mhm, it is. So we're hoping to, just help get more of her case moving along. So just definitely wanted to get out and share it with everyone. And please, anybody that's watching, please share these flyers that we're putting out and help these families get some information. If you know something, you can always send a message to my page. You could be anonymous, also with any of the agencies out there. Um, you could send messages and we will do what we can and get that passed on. So please, anybody out there that has information, um, please just share it because you would not want to be um, missing someone like a lot of these families are. Jeanette says, I totally agree with that as well. They should have been looked at into the beginning. I 100% agree that there's a lot of things on a lot of these cases that should have been done that were not done for whatever reason. And again, I'm a huge supporter of law enforcement. I really am. But a lot of people have to understand missing persons cases were handled extremely different years ago. And there's a big push now to getting law enforcement more educated, more up to date on what needs to be done, how to handle missing persons cases and stuff. So, but a lot of these cases that are older are being solved with DNA, going back and law enforcement going back and looking at these cases. So there's been several here just recently that are 20-plus-year-old cases that with the technology advancement and stuff that they are able to identify more people, but also be able to take what information they have and be able to go back and get more solid evidence and proof and moving forward and getting people arrested if it's foul play and stuff like that. So, um, I always encourage families to keep their hopes up, prayers that it doesn't matter how new or old a case is, there's still that chance that out there that something will come forward and things will get solved, whether it's finding the loved one or actually getting justice too for the loved one if foul play is suspected. The next one that I wanted to share is I'm hoping that we can keep sharing this about the young lady that is unidentified. She is one of the 6 that they found up in Oregon, and she is the only one that is unidentified. So we are hoping, and I wanted to share her again about this young lady. They said that she has the 2 noticeable tattoos, a black music note with the letter V on the left side or upper chest, and a depiction of the Buddha on her right upper back. The woman was found wearing earrings and a bracelet, a green long sleeve shirt, a black and white zip up jacket, jeans, and a black and white Adidas cleats. They don't have a whole lot, but these are pictures of her tattoos, and this would be a sketch of her. They do believe that she could be indigenous. So making sure that we are sharing this. Somebody out there has to know who she is. Just remember, even though she was found in Oregon, and this is something that I always try to tell families, just because someone goes missing or is found in a certain state does not mean that is the state that they came from. So she could be someone, from any of the surrounding states. So if you're missing a loved one, make sure you reach out to law enforcement and have them look into your missing persons case on the possibility this young lady could be your missing loved one out there. So I did want to reshare this again and get her back out there in everybody's eye. Someone said, finding the current assigned detective and suggesting that they run plates in the make of a car could be everything. It doesn't take them much time. Also, if there are options for age progression, photos of adults available as funds in their states might help. I agree that we definitely need to get more age progression photos out there. They do them for kids and stuff, but also for adults. It's always a good idea to get those done. I know that it takes a lot of time. If you are wanting age progression photos done, they do look at, from what I've been told, talking to someone that does them, is they want like a picture of the parents if they can get them, especially with children, the parents if they can get them, so they're able to work in those features with their age progression photos and stuff. If you have someone, if one of you guys are out here and you want an age progression, feel free to send me a message and let me know, and we will see if we can get you moved forward. But I will tell you, the people that I have talked to, it does take a lot of time because they are extremely busy. But I don't want that to discourage you. So if you do have a missing loved one and you want an age progression photo done, please reach out to me and let's see if we can get you in connection with one. I have one individual that said if they can't do it, they would definitely be able to recommend some other people as well. So, but I will tell you, it does take time, and I do know that they need some information. I'm not for sure who asked. Thank you for covering the unidentified woman in Portland. You are most welcome. Unidentified, we definitely, need to get them out. I try to share anything and everything when I see unidentified people that do come up. So definitely, I'm going to try to get a flyer out for her and get that done so that we can start sharing her flyer. But I know it has been out all over social media. This next case, I am going to have Jane talk to you guys about. This is Erin Nicole Mitz, I believe is how she's saying her last name. Is that correct, Jane? Oh, I lost Jane. She is not on right now. Give me a moment. Oh, hi, Saoirse. I'm going to wait. I don't know where Jane went, so I'm going to hold up on hers real quick until she gets back on the podcast. Sorry about that, guys. So this next case is missing out of Michigan, Detroit. This is Felicia Sims. She went missing on September 1st, 2022. She's 30 years old, 5'5", 150 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She has Amar on her back, AMIR, a heart on her right hand, Felicia on her right arm, and Loyalty on her right arm. Loved ones have not seen or spoken to her since they had a verbal argument. If you have any information regarding Felicia's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Detroit, Michigan Police Department at 313-596-1800. She has recently been updated in the NamUs database, and that is the most recent information that I do have on her. Okay. Hello, Hades. Give me 1 minute, you guys. I'm trying to get the PI back in. Okay. Hopefully she'll be back in here in just a little bit. All right. Our next case is another case out of Rapid City, South Dakota. This is Francis Brady. He has been missing since April 29th of 2023. He's 14 years old, 5'5", 140 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt and blue pants. If you have any information regarding Francis' disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Rapid City, South Dakota Police Department at 605-394-4131. I'm hoping that, April is a long time to be missing, especially for a 14-year-old. So hopefully someone out there knows something and they will get him located. So some of the things that we had that open discussion that we did not really get covered that I wanted to cover today to help families and loved ones to see is a different acronyms that we use that you may hear or see on a flyer. So NamUs is the National Missing and Unidentified Person System. And that is the database that we have really been pushing for law enforcement to, once they put them in the NCIC, which is the National Crime Information Center, which is only open to law enforcement, having them them into NamUs as well, because that is a public forum that people can go out and put cases in there, and then they're easier access for people to see these different cases. They also, with NamUs, it'll tell you whether or not there's DNA on file. It has both missing, unidentified, and unclaimed. So with those cases, I just really try to push that you guys push for them to put them in that national database. When we talk about NCMEC, NCMEC is the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children. MIPA is Missing Endangered Person Alert. MIPA is Missing Indigenous Person Alert. MMIP is the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons. An Amber Alert is America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response Alert. BIA is the Bureau of Indian Affairs. The BIA-OJS is Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Office of the Justice Services. BOLO is Beyond the Lookout. FBI is the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And I see that Jane has returned.
Yes.
So these are just, go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. That's all I was saying.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
So hopefully with some of this will help clear up when you guys see us use these different acronyms, or if we say something, it helps the families know what we are talking about. So I want to go back into the NamUs. This is the phone number for NamUs and also the website. Their phone number is 833-872-5176. It is the National Information Clearinghouse and Resource Center for the Missing, Unidentified, and the Unclaimed Person cases. It is only database not restricted to law enforcement, and it is available at no cost to medical examiners, coroners, allied forensic professionals, and family members of missing persons. So that is why I really feel like this database is so important for people to know about. And I will say that I've noticed there has been a lot more cases being updated in NamUs, really old cases getting updated and modified. And also I'm seeing more and more law enforcement putting it in there. And that is great, because this is something, like I said, that is not restricted just to law enforcement. This is open to the public. So, but it is, stuff does get put in there by law enforcement for it to be accurate, but it gives, your case numbers. It gives you who to contact and who's in charge of the case. There's pictures in there. If your loved one is in there and you have pictures of tattoos and stuff, reach out to the person that's handling the case and give them those photos so they can get that information back in there. So anything that they can continuously update, please get that information over to law enforcement so they can get this updated. It definitely helps us advocates, PIs, law enforcement, anything, because this does help us get that information in there, get information out into the public as well. If there is an unidentified case that you think is possible that it could be your loved one, reaching out, there's that information where you could reach out to someone at NamUs or to law enforcement, and you have that information, and then you can tell them what case number it is, and they can look into it to see if they can identify your loved one, if there is someone in there that's unidentified, or rule out. So that's why I think it is completely important for us to continue to push them using the NamUs database. And I agree, Jeanette, it is a very, very useful tool. If you guys see something that is in there that is not correct, getting a hold of law enforcement or to NamUs, because each case does have a NamUs individual tied to that case. if you have information, reaching out to them so they can get with law enforcement and get stuff updated, because we want it to be the most correct information. So if you do see something in there that is not correct on your loved one's case, please let them know so they can get with law enforcement as well and get that corrected and updated in the database. The next one that I want to talk to real quick is the missing National Center for the Missing and Exploited Children. We call it NCMEC. You can also call them at 800 The Loss. There also has their website on there. It is a 24-hour toll-free hotline for anyone regarding the location of the missing child. Assistance and information to families, governments, and law enforcement to locate children, both domestically and internationally. I think that is highly important because we have had some recent cases where kids have went missing or have been abducted and they have found them overseas. So I think that is very important. Here's one thing that I thought was really great to share with the families and the loved one. Information regarding free or low-cost legal, food, lodging, transportation service are available for benefit of the missing exploited children and their families. I think this is something that not a lot of people knew about. And this is something that if you do have a missing child or something, there is resources out there for you. It is the official National Resource Center and Information Clearinghouse for missing and exploited children. And I will tell you that cases of where the children have transitioned over into adults that are still missing, they do keep their flyer up there as well. And I know that NamUs actually will coordinate the NCMEC number, and they will put that also on in the NamUs thing to let you know that they are in NamUs as well. The last little resource that I did want to talk about today that we didn't get covered in that podcast, the forum podcast, was the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It is 800-799-7233. That is 24/7. It is actually confidential. So anybody that does call in, that is confidential. They can get you help as well. The National Runaway Safe Line, which is 800 Runaway or 800-786-2929. This is for our younger, you guys all know I don't like to use the word runaway, but these are for our younger individuals that do go missing. Reach out to that hotline and talk to somebody. We want to make sure that everybody is safe and you're in a safe place. There's also the National Human Trafficking Hotline. This one I feel is very important for people to have. You can call, text, or do a live chat. It is all confidential. They have 200 plus languages. So they have covered, like, if there's any language barriers, like, they don't just do English, they do, Spanish, Vietnamese, all that. And I think that's really important for people to know that they do have people on there that can talk and translate into different languages. So this is really important as well to be shared out and around for everyone as well. If you guys ever have any questions, you can definitely reach out to us as well. Someone wanted to add additionally, the Amber Alert was named after Amber Hagerman. That is true, who was kidnapped while riding her bike in Arlington, Texas, and then she was brutally murdered. That is true. That is where the Amber Alert did come about. I know a lot of people, Amber Alert does have certain criteria in order to have an Amber Alert put out on the national database. I know that becomes very frustrating because I do know that a lot of states also have alerts as well that they put out. So I'm hoping that more and more clarification will come out on Amber Alerts on what that criteria is, because I know there have been several cases within the last year that a lot of people consider to be Amber Alerts. And even sometimes I question why it's not an Amber Alert. So just keep that in mind. If you have questions, I would definitely reach out to NCMEC and talk to them about, why are they do not put out Amber Alerts. I'm not for sure who this is and what they're talking. Initially was added by Ricky, by me. Oh, is this Ricky? Ricky Chabugi is another advocate. He is the founder of Kansas Missing and Unsolved, and he is a great advocate out there as well that covers a lot of cases in Kansas. He also runs the Missouri Missing and Unsolved Facebook as well. So, Jane, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cover Erin because you had some updates with her. We had covered her on a podcast earlier, I believe, this week.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you cover her.
Okay. Well, since the last podcast, we have tracked her location as of December 4th in 2022 to Dallas, Texas. And we have since updated that in the missing persons database. So now there is a new missing persons report. And I believe you updated it on the flyer for me, correct?
Yes, I have the new case number for Dallas and their phone number, but I did leave the Delaware case number up there, and their number and your phone number as well is still on there.
Yes. Now, I need to follow up on this, but I spoke with her mother, and she stated that they said it was a site basis. I forgot. I already slipped my mind. I believe that if you see her, you need to take a picture and call them immediately to come out. I believe she has some probable pending medical issues that need to be addressed, and her family is very worried, and so please, if you Erin, if you're watching, any family members that are watching that may know where she is, can we please clear this up? If you don't know, that's fine, or if you have an inkling who she may be with, so we can know she's safe and we can take her out of the missing persons database. When she was cited, and this just came to fruition because she apparently, we don't know where she was living. It doesn't say, we weren't told where she was living. I don't think she was living anywhere so that gives us leads us to believe that, she's not safe, but we need to know that she's safe. So if you see her, if you can take a picture from a distance or stay there from a distance, if you feel safe, and call the police immediately, so they can make sure she's okay and safe. Hopefully she's still in Dallas safe. But if any of the family members know where she is, please call our investigation team, call the Dallas police or 911, and please let somebody know, because this is a young female and she still has her whole life ahead of her. Everybody's life matters, but this is a very unnecessary. There was a lot of miscommunication, it looks like, throughout from the beginning of this investigation, and so now it's kind of cleared out. So now we know we need to locate her and make sure she's okay. And that's the most recent update that I have.
Okay.
It's a good update, though.
Yeah. So, real quick, she was missing out of Dover, Delaware on November 11th of 2022. She is 22 years old, 5'1", 170 to 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She did used to wear braids in her hair, but her hair could be dyed a different color, short or naturally curly. As you can see in the photographs, there's different ways that she wore her hair. She does have multiple tattoos. She does have a phrase on her wrist and above her elbow. She does have multiple piercings, including her ears, nose, septum, left ear bar. She does suffer from depression. She is extremely shy and timid, especially if she feels threatened. She could have her ID. We're not for sure. Possibly 2 cell phones, but one we know is disconnected. She was last known to have some of her belongings when she left a family member's home. She was last seen, originally was seen last at the Red Roof Inn there in DuPont Highway in Dover, Delaware in November, but she has been seen since in the Dallas area. It was reported that she did leave in a vehicle in Delaware with an unknown male, which was very out of her character. For what I understand of the case, that she wouldn't just get into a vehicle with someone that she didn't know. Family is very concerned of her safety, especially with her health and everything. The thing that really pops up to me is the fact that, we've crossed state lines now. So this is a case where she has been seen in a different area. And to me, that puts more of a heightened concern for her well-being.
Yes, definitely.
So that's definitely something I kind of wanted to say as well is, here's a girl who was in Delaware and now we've last seen her in Dallas. So,
Correct.
and that was back, remind me again, that last time she was seen in Dallas was in December, correct?
Yeah,
That you got confirmed?
shortly. Yeah, it's confirmed. Shortly after, she went missing from the Red Roof Inn. She was, and Aaron, if Aaron's listening, and or if anybody knows where she is, she's not in trouble. If she's safe, and just she needs to talk to someone, talk to an official, and let them know if she doesn't want to come back home or want to go back to any family member. But we would appreciate, Aaron, if you are listening, or anyone that knows where she is, just to please let us know she's safe. The proper people have been notified, so this particular case is executed appropriately. So
Right.
thank you, Tatum, for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, we have updated that flyer, so I will get that posted out there as well for everybody to start sharing the new flyer. Okay, so to answer this question, yes, she is missing in Dallas because that is the last confirmed spot that she has been seen. However, it does not mean that she won't go back to that Dover, Delaware area.
Correct.
But Delaware and Dallas are working together on her case, correct?
Yes, they are. They are. But the report now is in Dallas, Texas.
So you could call either one if you want.
Right.
But Dallas, now we have that new report out in Dallas. So yes.
Yes. Exactly. And you can call me if you want, because I'm in touch with both of them and the families. So, or the family members. Any contact is fine.
Right. And she could be anywhere in between. So that's why it's important not only just to share in the Texas and Delaware, is getting them shared. And I know that Allison with Missing Persons Alert, I don't think she's on right now. She normally is. But she has a forum. Her platform has all 50 states on there. And her flyer is going to go throughout all 50 states. So anybody that shares the flyer, please share to any platforms that you can think of and just get these cases out there, because they could be anywhere in any area or any part of the nation. So
yes,
I know the families appreciate it. I appreciate anything you guys send as well. This next case does have an update on it. I'm going to go over it real quick. This is Remus Yazzie. He went missing from Farmington, New Mexico on January 5th, 2022. He was 29 at the time of his disappearance. He is 31 years old, 6 foot tall, 220 pounds, and black hair and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo on the left side of his neck that says "Skate and Destroy," as you can see in that bottom picture. And he has a tattoo of Snoopy on top of his house on his right forearm, which I have a picture of that as well. He is enrolled in the Navajo Nation. Remus had been released from the hospital due to him and another person being in an accident when he had texted his mother, possibly the same day or before the accident, from a person's phone, possibly a girlfriend, but loved ones did not know what her name was, and they've never met her. The text said that he was going to a funeral in Gallup, New Mexico on January 5th of 2022. The last time family had physically seen him was New Year's Eve and early New Year's morning in 2022. There has been no further contact from Remus since that text on January 5th of 2020. It is out of character for Remus not to have contact with his loved ones, and he does not have his phone or ID with him. He has not been active on social media. Remus is known to frequent Brookside Park and Farmington Park and enjoys skateboarding. I will tell you there have been, from what I understand, multiple searches for Remus that have been conducted by the Navajo police as well as Farmington. I believe police are involved too, but there have been multiple agencies that have been working on this case. The last search that was done here recently, I believe on July 5th, they did find a partial body part, a hand, that has been confirmed to be Remus's. But what I want people to know is I did share that article out on the page and everything. He is still considered missing, and family, is still very hopeful to find him. This does not mean that he is deceased at this time. And I want people to really understand that yes, they have confirmed that they found a partial body part, his hand, which was confirmed to be his, but we are still very much looking for him to be alive. And we need to keep sharing his flyer out there. They are still going to continue to do searches for him. If anybody has any information about his disappearance, please call the Farmington, New Mexico Police Department at 505-599-1070. Like I said, his family is still very hopeful that they will find him. And any of these cases, just because you find certain things, we don't ever want to think the worst or suggest that is what is happening. But I wanted to keep you guys up to date that they have been doing several searches for Remus. They did confirm that hand that was found is indeed his, but that does not mean that he is deceased or his case is closed. His case is very much still active, and I know the family would definitely appreciate everyone to keep sharing his flyer. And if they know anything, please come and say something. Reach out to law enforcement. Again, you can reach out and leave a message with me. I will get it to the proper people. If you want to be anonymous, that is fine. But just to let everybody know, just because certain things are found does not mean that law enforcement has closed out the case. It does not, he has not fully been located, and he is still very much missing. So to keep his family in your prayers, and most importantly, continue to share these flyers because they do help get the information out. So I do definitely, my prayers are still with them in hopes that he will be located soon. And everybody just share the flyer. Here's another case that I came across, and there's not a whole lot out on him. This is Travis Horton Platt. He is missing out of San Francisco, California on March 5th of 2023. He is 32 years old, 5'8", 130 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He does have a scruffy beard or a goatee. At times, his hair can be medium in length and shaggy. He last had contact with his family on March 5th of 2023. It is unusual for him not to have contact with his family. His vehicle had been towed by the San Francisco police on April 7th of 2023 for being parked in a no parking zone located in the area of 9th Street and Maglia Court in San Francisco, California. His car, which I wanted to put out in case anybody would have happened to see him or seen the car. It is a silver or aluminum in color 2013 Honda Accord with California license plate number 6WXB907, and his tags will expire in 2023. There have been reports that he may be riding a bicycle. He could still be in that San Francisco area or surrounding areas. If you have any information regarding Travis's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Yuba City, California Police Department at 530-822-4660. He is out in the NamUs database as well. So I'm hoping, I know that his family is really hoping that someone knows something or sees something, but they really want to get his case out there for people to see. I have this case and one other case to cover. I have covered Sean Charles Lee Muhlenberg before. He went missing out of Willoughby, Ohio on June 28th, 2021. He was 50 years old. He's 52 now, 6'1", 220 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have a large scar under his left eye. You can kind of see it in some of the photographs. He does wear glasses and contacts. He has multiple tattoos, as you can see. He has a gargoyle on his upper left arm. He has a tattoo also on his chest and his stomach. He does have a stutter when he talks and does walk with a slight limp due to an ankle injury. He does have medical issues that do require medication, and it is unknown what he was wearing at the time of his disappearance. However, he is always known to wear black steel-toed boots and sunglasses. Sean had stayed with his ex-wife on June 25th of 2021. He said that he was going to go get his paycheck the following day and he was going to take care of some bills. On June 26th of 2021, he went to get his paycheck, came back, and left money on her table, but she did not see him at the time. It had been reported on June 27th of 2021 that he had picked up his paycheck and that he had tried to reach out to a female who he had been with in Massillon the night before by calling a man who he had been hanging out with the night before. It is also said that he couldn't reach the female and that she didn't want to see him. After the call, his phone was never used after that. There's been no contact with him since. His vehicle, a 2003 Chevy Tracker, below was found a month later in Akron, Ohio. Sean's wallet and phone were not on him and are believed to be with him. Prior to Sean's disappearance, he had made a payment taking care of a driving infraction that he had had since September of 2005 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sean, according to others, would not have abandoned his child, family, or his job. He was last seen on June 26, 2021 in the area of Rolling Park Drive in Massillon, Ohio. If you have any information regarding Sean's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Willoughby, Ohio Police Department at 440-953-4240 or 440-953-4212. Again, here's an individual that has a job. He's very much involved with his loved ones and his family. He would not have left any of them. But also the simple fact that he is taking care of his responsibilities, taking care of that driving infraction that he had in 2005. You know, that does say a lot about him as a person, that, you know, he was doing what he needed to be doing, and it's very unlikely for him to just leave on his own accord and be gone this long, especially where he has children. He was actively involved with them. Someone said, thank you so much for covering our brother Remus Yazzie story. Thank you for stressing the fact that we are still hopeful we will find him and bring him home. We appreciate everyone's time and work. Hashtag where's Remus? You are most welcome. And I will continue to share Remus and his story. And hopefully, like I said, you guys are in our prayers. We definitely want him to be located and found for you guys. So again, family members are very thankful for everything that everybody does on sharing these stories out there. So again, if you guys will please share them, I will get them posted. The updates and stuff posted for Remus. I have an updated flyer for him. And then also for Aaron, I have an updated flyer as well. So yes, family is very, very important, and they need to have their loved one's story heard. So let's definitely get their flyers shared and out there. I have one more to share. Jane, do you have anything else to share before I share this last missing person?
Well, I was curious, do you know if they tracked his phone or were able to track that gentleman's vehicle, or
Are you talking about Sean or Remus?
the the last gentleman that you were posting?
Oh, Sean.
Yes.
So on Sean's, from what I know, his vehicle has been found. They did find it in Akron. His phone, I do not know much about the tracking of his phone and what has been done with his phone. I would have to talk to his family about that and
Okay.
see if they, I don't know if they're on right now, if they're watching, if they want to chime in and say anything about it. But I know that the phone and the ID, from what I understand, have not been found or located, and he has not been active. And I think the phone was off
I do
after.
know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Either case or any case, if the person has a Google account and they have their location settings on, and they're and you can get in there, you can have law enforcement or a private investigator or yourself track where they've been or where they're going or where they're at through Google, or if you can get law enforcement to ping the phone, um, that would be great. You could probably, and there's some agencies that do that also. They ping phones. And of course the forensics again on the car. I always think about forensics on the
Hmm.
car. You know, look into that. Look into taking the case higher up if it's been stagnant for a while, you know. So that's all I have to say, but I hope all your loved ones are found or justice is brought to them, whichever the case may be.
And I agree with what you said. The fact that even though maybe in the beginning their phone was off, I think it's always good to re-look at phone records and stuff on a possibility um, that that phone could have been turned on again at some point or used at some point and no one noticed it. So I think it's always good to re-look at, getting records, especially some of these cases that were going on over a year,
Oh, yes.
and tracking them. So just because originally in the investigation, when law enforcement or whoever looked into those, um, that they probably need to relook at them again. And I know a lot of law enforcement will continue to track stuff, accounts and stuff like that. But I don't know in this case if they've continued to track it. I'm not real sure. I am unsure whether or not he had connections in Akron. I'm not for sure on that, but I can see what updates I can get on Sean. I know that his family definitely misses him and want to have him located. Again, I can't stress enough. Please, please, please share these flyers.
Yes.
Um, you know, Jane brought up some great things. Things that we had talked about in that open forum. If these individuals have Google accounts, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that, these are records that law enforcement, or if you get a PI involved with, these are records that need to be got, looked over, bank accounts.
Yes.
Again, like the car situation, I think, like Jane said, I think a lot of times in these cases, people are not looking at these vehicles that they're finding. You know,
Too many. I've just seen too many lately, and this is 2023. So I
yeah.
think every vehicle should be looked at. I don't think that's just my opinion, but
No, I agree.
I think the loved ones of the missing would probably agree. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
but definitely, I just can't stress it. And like we had kind of talked about, if people are interested in private investigation, there's nothing wrong with you guys reaching out to somebody other than law enforcement. The only thing I do severely stress to people is watch who you talk to. Not all
yes,
private investigators, not all advocates are the same. They're not always going to be the same. Make sure whoever you get with is extremely reputable. Jane with TLP, she does free consultation, and she's going to tell you whether or not she thinks she can help you or not. And I do admire that about Private Eyes, that they'll do those free. People that do free consultation, I really kind of admire, because these are missing persons cases. These are things that I don't think you should be charging for a consultation, because if you can't help them, you can't help them.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we're in it to help people, and we absolutely do. We do care, and we do our best to make you and you whole. And if we can't do it, we'll help you find somebody if we
Mhm.
can, or give you advice what to do next. And like, if you're unsure, you're talking to somebody online that claims to be, if you need a background check done on them, or to know if they're legit or not, feel free to reach out to Tatum or me, and we can look into that for you. Or that's no big deal. Just let us know.
Right. Because the biggest thing, we not only are protecting your loved one's case, we are trying to protect you as loved ones as well. We want advocates around, we want to make sure that everybody is safe, not giving out your phone numbers,
Right. Yeah.
stuff like that. That's very dangerous. I've seen in several cases where it is not safe. So definitely, reach out. We'll do whatever we can to help you guys out. I do not know on this case if the family vehicle was returned to the family. If it was and his family is on here, I would definitely have someone look into that vehicle.
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely. And if
and
it has a tracer, oh, I'm sorry, Tatum.
no, go ahead.
If it's one of the newer ones that has the computerized, there's well, I have a reference I could turn over, but there's places that track vehicles even if they've already been driven. They can trace where they've been to and from locations. I've seen it done, and it could help you all locate the missing
Mm,
your missing loved one.
right. And I mean, this is just one thing, to just pop up, not just only looking at the vehicle for blood evidence, or, some sort of, fluid or anything like that, but also looking to see if it was even possible that your loved one is the one that left that vehicle there.
Right.
There's ways, and investigative ways to be able to tell whether or not the last person to drive the vehicle was your loved one or not.
Mhm.
And those are important. Those are just such important key elements that law enforcement needs to be doing, or your private investigator or whoever need to be doing, is, again, stressing the fact that that car can have so many clues that you may not have thought of. So definitely, if any of you guys out there have vehicles that are involved, still to this day, like Jade said, even if someone tried to clean it up, there's still chances that you will find, if there was evidence left in the car, you could
Yes.
still possibly find. So don't ever think, no matter how long it's been, that we couldn't find something that is possible that could help in your case. So yeah, just to stress the vehicle things right now, there's just, like she said, several cases right now that I feel like there was a lot of stuff that wasn't done that needed to be done that could have been helpful. And maybe not. Maybe not. But
We don't know because the vehicle wasn't checked, so we
yeah,
don't know.
we don't know.
But
So
if it has been checked, maybe they just haven't released it. But if you watch, and not to reference, but the Crystal Rogers, it's on I think Hulu or Netflix. They address that specific uh that specific situation about
mm,
the vehicle, and it not being checked for forensics for, like, I forget how long it had been. It had been sitting on the road, and then the police never checked it, and then they had a professional forensics team go in, and it was crazy. They found a whole bunch of stuff.
mhm. And I agree. I'm not for sure who this is again. Facebook user, absolutely do not sell the car. That is 100%. Do not
Yes.
sell the car. Do not use the car. you know.
Yeah, there's a case right now. I think somebody, I'm not going to name the case. I think you know it though, Tatum. They sold the car after the person went missing.
Yeah, that is a case where law enforcement gave the car to.
No, this is a different one,
Oh, a different
actually.
one.
But
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead and talk
Never mind, not
about that
that
one.
one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, this is where law enforcement gave the vehicle to a family member that should not have gotten the vehicle.
Right. That doesn't make any sense to me
No,
whatsoever if it's not in the person's name, and especially if that
no,
person's never been in touch, as far as you know, right? No
no.
one's in touch.
There was no. There had not been a whole lot of connection, I guess. Like they were not close.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I hope there's been some updates with that, because that just doesn't seem appropriate.
And that is true. Ellie can try to recover a sold car, but it is a very valuable piece of forensic evidence. It is.
Yes.
You just never know what you're gonna see. And I don't know if you saw this, but Jeanette said that we are amazing. So I
Oh,
wanted to
thank you,
make sure
Jeanette. You are
that you.
too.
So, but I mean, those are just again. If you guys have any questions, on should I, if cases need to be escalated up higher, um, what things they could do, what things have been missed, please reach out to either Jade or me and let us know. We'll see what we can help with your guys' case. I know there has been a couple families that have reached out with questions and stuff, and we're definitely looking into their cases as well. So just, don't feel discouraged. That's what we're here for. But definitely, I would agree. Some of these cases definitely need some fresh eyes looking on. They're definitely been, um, they're getting older, and some things that maybe families and having an advocate or a PI or, really talking to law enforcement about, hey, these things need to be looked at. Were they looked at? Do we need to look at it again? So
But go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I won't say, there was a gentleman in enforcement I talked to, and he said he thinks that private investigators are great. They can do things that the law enforcement can't get around to doing, and it's supposed to be a norm, over years and years, that law enforcement likes to work with private investigators and follow up on leads. So definitely, if you think that may be an option, do reach out to one in your area, or anybody like that you feel comfortable with.
Agreed. All right. This last case is a case from October 19th of 2010. He was recently um, updated in NamUs. This is William Safarston Kent. He is missing out of Beaufort, South Carolina. I'm not for sure how they say it. He was 20 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 30. He is 6 foot tall, 150 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He does have, it is described, he does have that distinctive lip that looks swollen. He does have a black and white tattoo of angel wings that expand from his shoulders to his lower back. He was last seen wearing black and white Hawaiian pattern swim trunks. He is from Asheville, North Carolina, and was among a group of students from Chestnut School of Herbal Medicine in North Carolina. They were visiting the Huntington Island for a field trip, and a fellow student had noticed that he was missing. William's wallet, backpack, and cell phone were found by a sand dune towards the southern end of the island. There had been daily searches among the beach that had been conducted by park staff, Coast Guard, Beaufort Water Search and Rescue Squadron, and SC Department of Natural Resources. If you have any information regarding Williams' disappearance or his whereabouts, please call the Beaufort County, South Carolina Sheriff's Department at 843-255-3200. His case was, I'm still doing more and more research on his case because I have not seen a whole lot about him. which I thought was kind of weird because that's 2010
Oh, wow.
and not seeing a whole lot out with him. So,
That's crazy.
yeah. So, again, you guys, thank you everyone for joining us today. Your guys' comments and helping out has been very helpful, and we love the discussion and the questions. Sand dunes can collapse and bury a person. That's true. And yeah, it is horrible to know that. So, but I know they have done a lot of searches for him and just nothing. They just haven't found anything other than, the backpack and stuff
Oh,
that I've found so far. But I'll keep looking into his case and seeing what I can find. But I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Jane, for joining us today, giving us some updates on some of the cases.
you're
And
welcome.
also giving resources and educating us on different things that could be helpful for some of these families and loved ones.
You're welcome.
I want to thank all the families for being out here. I always appreciate you guys sharing your stories. I appreciate, I know this is a very hard time for you guys. And I just always appreciate that you trust us with your loved ones' cases and stuff. And we do hope to keep them in the eye of the public. If there's anything anybody needs, again, feel free to reach out, send a message to us, and we'll see what else that we can do to help you guys out. You guys are always in my prayers. God bless, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.